how about these guys for unwelcome garden visitors? Rodents. And we're not talking about our delightful Australian native rodent species. In urban gardens all around the country, you're far more likely to be contending with introduced black and brown rats and house mice. Even in my garden, in certain times of the year, rats can be a real problem. Like, check out this kohlrabi crop. They have munched it to the ground. This is not okay. The good news is that there are a few simple things you can do to keep rodents under control. Rats and mice are attracted to gardens because they can easily find warmth, shelter and food. Compost systems and worm farms for processing food waste can quickly become rodent hotspots if you're not careful. This worm farm is made from an old bathtub, and importantly, it has a really heavy and solid lid, so there's no nooks and crannies that the mice or rats can crawl into. So basically, it's Fort Knox for rodents. Usually, rats and mice will burrow under your compost bin and set up camp and breed, but we can put a stop to that. I use vermin wire mesh, leaving at least 5 centimetres at the side so I can fold it up over the edges. And there you have it. The worms will be able to come and go through these beautiful holes, but not the rats. Yay! And don't forget to put the lid on nice and snugly. Another potential haven for rodents is your chicken yard, or in my case, my goat and chicken yard. This is because there's heaps of organic matter around and often daily food scraps from your kitchen. If you are feeding food scraps to your animals, make sure you only do it in the morning in small amounts so they have all day to eat them before the rodents come out at night time. Another tip is to store your chicken feed into metal bins which are rodent-proof, and make sure you keep the lid on nice and tight. I've also made myself a rodent-resistant chicken feeder, just out of a plastic bucket with a toggle on the bottom the chickens have to peck, and every time they do that, it releases their feed onto the ground. It's hanging off a metal rod and it's placed just higher than the chicken's head, so they have to reach up to peck the toggle. This design does a fantastic job at keeping feed contained and also off the ground, unless the chickens are eating it immediately. It's actually the best feeder I've ever found to help keep rodents at bay. Now that's something to crow about. Rats also rely on a steady source of water, so turn off any dripping taps and upturn buckets. Of course, you can also catch rodents using live or snap traps, deter them with sensor repellents, or as a last resort, you can use poison. Now, I don't recommend poison, but if you are going to use it, make sure you look for first-generation bait with the active ingredient of warfarin, as this makes sure that none of our precious native wildlife dies if they happen to eat a dead, poisoned rat. So prevention is always the best cure. Do your best to cut off access to food, water and shelter, and you should be able to send your mouse and rat pack packing.